The Museum of the Middle Appalachians in Southwest Virginia is a private, nonprofit museum. It is a grassroots organization that has been built by the people in the town of Saltville. We have 5 subjects that we showcase in the museum, both natural history and cultural history. All of the exhibits that we have are centered around salt. They're connected here to the salt industry and the presence of salt here. We start off with the geology of how and why the salt is here, the evaporation of an ocean. There is a fault line that runs through this valley from West Virginia down into Georgia. That fault line buried the salt deposit that was here after that ocean evaporated. Then we have paleontology history, deals with the mastodons and mammoths and the short-faced bear, animals that lived here somewhere between 10 and 30,000 years ago. And the paleontology that we have here is from the Saltville Valley. When the explorers came through the Appalachian Mountains, they discovered that there were bones here of uncommon size. All animals have an instinct for salt, and so they were coming here to satisfy that need that they had for salt. Well, so it was called the Salt Lick early on, and then of course naturally Saltville, as it's going to be a town. I think our mastodon skeleton is probably an unexpected thing that they can see and learn about, and actually see the bones that were left here by the mastodons and the mammoths and the other animals of that time period. Then we have the Native American history. Most of that is the contact period when the Europeans were coming into the Saltville Valley as they were moving west. The Native American trails through the Appalachian Mountains all seem to converge here in this valley. And with research that has been done, it appears that the Native Americans were getting salt here for tanning their hides with, or maybe they were using salt at that time in their diet. But we also have some evidence that it was being used as a trade item, and they would have traded that with their fellow Native Americans in different places around the south and the east that maybe didn't have salt. So it was a commodity that they used and were aware of. We then go to the Civil War, and there were 2 battles fought in the Civil War here in Saltville. And that history is because the salt was here, and the Union felt like that it would be to their advantage if they could destroy the salt works that were here, that it would impair the Confederate Army here. And of course, any industry that was using salt in the South would certainly be harmed as well. Then after the Civil War, we have the industrial period that was coming to Saltville in Southwest Virginia. And then with the industry, we had the company town that grew up around that industry. And it happened in all company towns around. There was something that drew the company to the town, to the location, that kept them there and maintained a way of life that people had. And it all centered around whatever that company was producing. So yes, everything here is connected in some way to salt. I think that what's really surprising to most people is to find out that we produced things here besides the salt, and that how well the town was supported by the company. Yes, they had a lot of control over it, but they also were fair to their citizens that lived here. We have somewhere between 8,000 to 10,000 visitors a year. I'm sure that you'd find something of interest for everybody. So we have all kinds of folks who come, in-state, out-of-state. The folks who come the 8 miles off of Interstate 81 from either Chilhowie or Glade Spring always say that they're glad they came. They are surprised at what we have. We have a very large space. There is a variety of things here. There's just so much history here, and they always leave very satisfied and glad that they came to visit us.